First image from the Adam Project starring Ryan Reynolds. A man travels back in time to get help from his younger self to confront their late father.
Kinda sounds like that Bruce Willis movie, The Kid, but the other way around. Ha ha ha. Very interesting concept. Edit. Disney's The Kid is the movie I'm talking about, not Looper. Ha ha ha. That movie kind of fucked with me because for the longest time I wondered, oh god. The past year or so, I've been thinking about a quote from a movie I couldn't place but I knew involved a kid confronting his older self. So let me get this straight. I'm 40, I'm not married, and I don't even have a dog. That's been coming to mind a lot ever since I found my LiveJournal from 15 years ago and was like, wow, I used to be a lot different back then. Shit, I may have even been better back then. I'm not 40, by the way. But I'm not married and I don't have a dog. Rob Liefeld's original plan for Cable, from the New Mutant X-Men comic books, was that he was secretly the future version of Cannonball, the current leader of the team, who had traveled back in time to mentor his early self. Marvel editorial changed it so that Cannell instead was the son of Cyclops returned from the future. Edit. This was back in 1990, I believe. As of today, Disney has officially delayed Free Guy. Instead of giving it a new release date, the studio has removed it from its release calendar entirely, leaving it unclear as to when Free Guy will actually be released. Screen Rant November 5th. It might depend on if it's a digital release or a theatrical release. If it's a theatrical release, it will be later, rather than sooner. Inverse for digital release. Honestly, I would do it differently. I would travel back in time to help my younger self deal with my asshole father. If it was me, I would travel back in time and invest in Google, YouTube, Amazon, or some other company that was small back then and is huge now. Then, by the time I came back, I could enjoy my millions of dollars and look at my asshole father and say to his face, "Where is your God now?" Of course, my dad's not actually an asshole, so I'd just buy him a house. I hope that's what ends up happening. Like, as the younger and older Ryans interact, they will grow wiser. So in the beginning, Ryan goes back to tell their younger father about how he dies and try to save him, but by the end of the movie both Ryans become wiser and don't tell him so the timeline won't change. IDK, I'm so high right now. I think that's the obvious way to go. Most of us would do it this way, myself included. In general, we see children as needing help and adults as being the source of help, and that's true. But what I like about this is that it explores how children can help adults, too, which is seriously underappreciated. Lemme guess, this kid is going to be a sassy smart mouth and Ryan Reynolds will be all shocked face. I can't believe this child just said so many potty words. I wish Reynolds would take more serious roles again. I remember watching Life and Amityville Horror 2005. Reynolds does good in serious roles and his comedic over-the-top roles are dry now. Hell, even in Six Underground, he was light-hearted but still overall serious and I enjoyed him in that. Not to be a hater, but has he been in a good movie besides Deadpool lately? All his recent movies don't seem that interesting or promising to me. Also, not that the old ones were at all. I think he is way more talented than he gets credit for. You might want to check out some of his lesser-known stuff. Ryan Reynolds has made some pretty crazy niche movies. Not all of them are great, but I would be willing to bet at least one of the below moves would change your mind about him. The Voices, The Nines, Chaos Theory, Buried Life, Paperman, Smokin' Aces, Amityville Horror Remake. He's only been in 6 movies since Deadpool, not including Deadpool 2. Detective Pikachu was pretty good and everything else has been ridiculous blockbuster shit or The Croods 2. We still haven't gotten Free Guy, which will probably be pretty funny. The Voices was good in a I didn't realize I was watching a sobering horror movie kind of way. Not to spoil, but I really appreciated how it presented illness and the struggle to stay medicated. I was rooting for him to flush them and I think that's what makes this such an unnerving film. I like Reynolds a lot, but he's definitely playing the same character in every one of his films these days, whether he's a crass superhero, a yellow rodent, or a non-playable character. He's a good actor, so I kind of hope he falls back into real roles here and there. I'm going to post an unpopular opinion. Before Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds was box office poison. The longer it takes for Deadpool to arrive in the MCU, it's going to happen, but the question is when, the more this label is going to come back. I don't care for Ryan Reynolds, but I don't try to vocalize my opinion because Reddit loves the guy. Putting that to the side, Mississippi Grind is a phenomenal movie. It's A24, it's on Netflix, and it deserves recognition. This is one of his old ones before he molded himself like The Rock, where he's playing himself, but I would give definitely, maybe credit. It's an offbeat rom-com where you can truly tell he did such a good job not portraying himself. I would probably call that and buried his best performances. Lately, not really. I liked Detective Pikachu, but he's just voice acting there. The only other movies I like him in are Deadpool, Paper Man, Buried, and The Proposal. Tatiana Maslany has demonstrated in Orphan Black how she can distinctly play not just multiple characters but also those characters trying to imitate one of her other characters but not quite perfectly, so the audience has a chance of figuring out that not only is it one character trying to impersonate another but which one it is. It's a tremendous skill. At no time during watching time, less edit, self, less. Oops, did I believe Ryan Reynolds was playing someone who had actually been Ben Kingsley? I think he can act, but like everyone, there's areas of expertise and limits to what he can do. He does have his specialized area of expertise, though. He really was born to play Deadpool, and he and the comic character converged even more over time, especially once it was realized that if the character ever came to film, he had to be the person to make it happen on screen. Also, in the movie Voices, they did take that persona and subverted it brilliantly as well. No, not really, but honestly he wasn't really famous for Deadpool, because of his great acting. It was more his persona was fitting already. I don't think anybody ever thought he was a great actor. That being said, I feel like he is getting put into plenty of movies with mediocre writing. That either means he rarely gets good offers or his agent is just not good, or he just is fine with what he is doing. Since time travel is open to all types of interpretations, why not have it play out as instant self-improvement or decline as he interacts with his young self? Reynolds will have fun with it however it's portrayed. You should check out the new Korean movie on Netflix called The Call. Deals with the concept of the present being changed as a character interacts with the past. I thought it was a pretty cool thriller, horror movie. If it's a parallel universe time travel then not. Or maybe it's something like a time loop where he had already met himself from the future when he was a kid but lost all the memory of that event. But just think, this way he gets to grow as a character with various intergenerational hijinks and realize he's a bit like his father himself and maybe he loves his dad after all. And then at the end his dad will smile and says he's proud of him and every emotionally stunted man in the audience will feel a little tingle. Fuck me if I wanna see something emotional and not a movie where some dude warns people about upcoming natural disasters for 2 hours. Maybe he can't actually change the past with this form of time travel, or maybe killing Hitler is on his to-do list. I'm calling it right now. It's gonna be like a comedy movie where these two try to work together but they have a lot of funny moments. Then by the end of the movie they finally found their father and it's going to be an emotional scene. Impressive effects. How'd they pull it off? Did they film the first part 30 years ago and then wait for Reynolds to get older, and then edit him? I like him, but hope it's not yet another Reynolds doing Reynolds funny shit thing. You know, the thing he did past 20 years and it clicked like 3 movies, 2 Deadpools and, wait. Had to IMDb it. Okay, just 2 movies. The inherent problem with time travel concepts like this one, if he's going back in time to meet himself, then his younger self would have already met his older self and would know how the entire encounter happened before traveling back in time at all. Kind of some of the same frustrations I had with Looper. Specifically, the parts where the criminals would mutilate a fleeing recruit and those injuries would suddenly appear on the older version of the same character. How the fuck is this on top of R, all with 22.3k votes? The picture says nothing, the description is nothing special. WTF? I'm convinced these are ads, always a completely uninteresting picture with a boring description and 30k up votes. And sometimes it's like, exclusive first look, first image unveiled of Ryan Reynolds looking surprised in a forest. It depends on how the movie does time travel. If traveling back in time creates a parallel universe, then that wouldn't be a problem. Or maybe it's something like a time loop where he had already met himself from the future when he was a kid but lost all the memory of that event. Wanted to rip off life on Mars, but instead of the main character being a cop, a guy wakes up to find he's a middle school teacher and has to convince his younger self that life won't be so bad, while also dealing with the younger version of his father who's the middle school principal. Why would he go back in time? From the looks of it, he's got this going for him. All I see is a tall, good-looking guy who knows about fashion. Looks like this guy got it all good, let the father be for what he is. I am glad I am single right now. I don't think I could deal with trying to explain yet another time travel movie to my ex. Just when I think she understands it, she'll come at me 5 minutes later with a, okay, now explain it one more time. She's not dumb, I think she just liked hearing me trying to explain it different ways. What's the point in posting this now? This has only started production a week ago and will not be released till the end of 2021 or 2022. Too far ahead for most of us to even think about. From Netflix, when is the Netflix release date for the Adam Project? At the earliest, there's a chance for a late 2021 release date. It's more than likely that we won't see the Adam Project on Netflix until 2022. This man could take a shit on a camera and it would make $50 million in the box office. I'd also watch it in theaters, and buy 2 copies of the special edition Blu-ray for the commentary. Would you buy a covertly filmed video of Ryan shitting? He gave it to me and I don't know why. I didn't ask. He just walked up to me and gave it to me. Didn't even realize it was him until he started commenting when his gate opened. I think he waxes. I thought it was a video of a dolphin's blowhole at first. That RGT supply jacket is everywhere. It's in quite a few movies and shows. Bond, Split, this one. I believe another version of the jacket was in Animal Kingdom as well. This puts their supply jacket up there with the Barracuda jacket and other iconic jackets that are seen in films. I'm happy for them since they're literally a mom and pop shop. His fingers danced across the keys. Mountain Dew was coursing through his veins as he took another full lung hit from his vape. Out came the rings. Out came inspiration. Out came purpose. All. Why didn't they understand? Chapo Trap House understands. Late stage capitalism understands. Socialism and the other kids at his high school understands. What could he say to make the rest of this god-forsaken website understand the depths of his impotent rage? Cops. After all, he had read the first 36 pages of the Communist Manifesto several times now, even highlighting a few choice sentences that particularly struck him as significant. The book lay on the top of his desk, gathering dust. He's seen the tweets firsthand. He didn't have time for leisurely pursuits such as reading. After all, he was putting in 60 hours a week on League of Legends, and that's on top of all his household chores his parents beg him over and over again to complete. He must also stretch for 2 hours daily, as to prevent another blood clot. He puffed again, but this time deeper. He exhaled the vaporous clouds of fruity tutti berry mist. Be the change you wish to see in the world, he thought to himself. If he could just get the sheeple to understand. Bastards. He smiled as his hand left the keyboard to grasp the mouse to submit his manifesto. Repeating other phrases that he had read on his favorite subreddits was, after all, a noble cause. He could hardly contain his excitement, or perhaps it was all of the Mountain Dew making him jittery again. He had leftover pizza rolls for breakfast that might have something to do with shakiness, but he wasn't so sure. He clicked save with a defiant smirk. The 20-character phrase was converted into computer-readable bits and zoomed across the country in milliseconds. He saw his comment hit the website, and he leaned back in his chair. Content. I've done it. I've changed the world, he thought to himself. IMDb describes the movie this way: a man must travel back in time to get help from his 13-year-old self. That kid doesn't look anywhere near 13 to me, or maybe I'm just getting old. The child actor is not listed on IMDb yet for this movie, so I have no idea who it is. Update. Collider says the kid's name is Walker Scoble. I'm assuming they made the kid younger to get more of the audience that grew up with Disney's The Kid, which has been mentioned repeated times in this thread already, and for good reason, because it's the first thing I thought of too. For some reason I remember Bruce Willis on Late Night Talk promoting this movie more than I remember the movie itself. He seemed to hate that Disney tacked on its name to the title, Disney's The Kid, so he made fun of it. He's the one actor I just can't get into. He's not bad, but he always comes across as so smug in all his roles. RDJ kind of does the same shtick as Reynolds, but he doesn't give me full-on fratboy energy that Reynolds does. I mean, they could try to keep the hair color consistent instead of going for celebrity actors, but what do I know? Smiley face. Just to be clear, I love Ryan Reynolds. But I'm wondering if this is a good choice. I'm down for any movie with time travel, even bad ones. My first reaction was that it sounded like the book, A Gift of Time, but that one sends the guy back to his 10 or 12 self to actually relive his life with the knowledge and memories of his older self. It has a modern-day Mark Twain feeling to it. I feel like it's really weird when people use something so amazing and fantastic like technology to travel in time to do mundane shit like fixing some family issues. Like the second BTTF movie, where Doc, despite all the talk about universe-ending time paradoxes and whatnot, decides to bring Marty to the future just to keep his son from going to jail. Like, he's willing to risk destroying the universe just to keep a single person from going to jail. What the actual fuck? Let me guess. The older self will have to save the life of the younger self by sacrificing his own life. If not, he won't exist, so not much choice there. But by killing the abusive father in the process, the younger self gets a better life. Original. Honestly, this movie could be something special. If they create an emotional atmosphere with relatable characters in adult Ryan Reynolds and child Ryan Reynolds, it could be a very heartwarming and emotional movie. I know we've all had that one family member, whether good or bad, that we wish we had one last chance to either tell them how much we appreciate them or tell them off for how much pain they caused you and show them how you've grown despite their actions. Who always gilds these posts? No matter what I see, any poster or first image always gets a ton awards. Like, it will be, first image of Tom Holland in movie name.jpg, directed by Anthony Russo, and it will be just a picture of a dude standing on a street in some regular clothes. Then it will have like 60 awards? Like, who is looking at so many of these and going, this image is from like an actual MOVIEFILM. That guy is a film man. 1. Thanks op for saving this image and pasting a DESPCRIPTION. And then gives it Argentium. Like. Ryan Reynolds got married on a slavery plantation, so I guess we should all boycott this movie. It didn't seem like a big deal to me, but he groveled and apologized and said he did something horribly wrong, so I guess he did.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video. And if you are new, subscribe and click on the bell icon.